In this short video, I'm going to go through the expectations that I have of my students. And really, these expectations are just bullet points for what successful students need to do to learn what they need to learn in the course and also excel when it comes to their grade in the course. First, I think it's important for students to manage their time carefully. The most successful students have a handle on how they spend the hours in each day and know ahead of time when they're going to be able to work in our class. Unsuccessful students seem to wait for time to just kind of land on their lap, and that's not a very good strategy for managing your time. I have included a sample in Canvas of a weekly schedule that you can use to schedule yourself for the hours that you're going to be working in our class each week. If you actually block out the hours in advance, it is much more likely that you'll be able to spend the necessary time working in our course to be successful. Secondly, successful students monitor and adhere to the course due dates. All course due dates are advertised at the very beginning of class, so there is plenty of opportunity for you to use a planner to write down all the due dates for the entire semester. Also, you can use technology. Sometimes students use reminders on their cell phones. If they have an online calendar, whatever method works for you is what you should use. But have a system in place to know what the due dates are, to be able to spend the necessary time working on the assignments well in advance of the due dates so that the learning can occur and that you don't miss any due dates. There are no extensions in our course, so being able to manage your time and know ahead of time when things are due is going to be extremely important. From time to time, I will post courtesy reminders in Canvas, either in the form of an announcement or a message. I just ask that you not rely on these courtesy reminders because that's all they are. They're just a courtesy. It is your responsibility to know the due dates, whether or not I send a courtesy reminder. Third, I do expect you to read all announcements and messages that I post in Canvas. Please check every day. You won't have an announcement every day, but you will have them frequently enough that checking every day will make sure that you don't miss anything important. Although the material in our course is for the most part already available on the first day of the semester, there are announcements and messages that will give you updates or will announce changes or will just give you really important, pertinent information for you to stay on track with the course. So please make sure that you read all the announcements and all of the messages in Canvas. There are notification settings that you can adjust so that those either show up on your personal email or that you get a pop-up notification. Next, I do expect you to watch all of the videos that I post in their entirety. I do take the time to record videos for my students because I think that lends a personal touch. Certainly, most of what I put in a video can be put in the form of an email or an announcement in text and print. But I think that recording videos just lets it feel more personal. And if I take the time to record the videos, that means that what I'm conveying is important, and I do expect you to watch the videos in their entirety. Especially because we don't meet as a group, it's really important that you pay attention to the videos because important announcements or updates may be included. Next, I do expect students to follow the learning process in the correct order. And I talk a little bit about this in another video, but the correct order is students need to go through some sort of instruction on new material. Instruction can come in the form of reading the section in the textbook that corresponds to the new material, watching the lecture videos in their entirety. You will have lecture notes in this class that you'll be completing by hand as you watch some of those instructional videos. But the instruction has to come before anything else. You'll also have some interactive homework assignments through my math lab that will serve as part of the instruction. Once you receive the instruction, then it's time for you to start trying to apply some of those concepts through practice. And the practice is usually in the form of the homework assignments. And those homework assignments in my math lab do have some learning aids attached so that you're still trying to make sense of it. You might make mistakes, and that's perfectly normal, but you will have some learning aids and some tools to help you apply those concepts. Once you've practiced, then of course comes assessment through the form of quizzes and then module tests. The assessment is toward the end of the learning process because the instruction and the practice precede it, and then we assess. Now, assessment doesn't mean that the learning process ends. Usually there are some concepts that students don't quite grasp or can't apply correctly, and so there will be some missed questions. And so after the assessment, students continue the learning process by reviewing what they've missed and going back and revisiting some of the instruction to fill in those learning gaps. And then you kind of rinse and repeat, right? So this is a circular process, not a linear process. And you definitely need to continue going back to concepts that were difficult for you, asking for assistance if needed, and make sure that the focus is on what you're taking away from this class, not just what you're achieving or the points that you're earning. And finally, I do expect students to be proactive in seeking assistance. In an online course like ours, where we don't come together as a group, it can be a little bit of a lonely process to learn, and we may feel a little bit disconnected at times. And it's really important that as a student, you take the first step in seeking assistance. There are plenty of resources to support your learning. I am here as your primary instructor to do that. We have the Math Emporium with free tutoring as well. You have an academic advisor assigned to you for any registration or course selection questions. And then, of course, you have each other. You have your classmates, and you are able to message each other and form study groups and support each other's learning in those ways. So these are my expectations for students. I think that if you're serious about being successful, not just in this course, but in what your college degree is going to represent, it's more than just an achievement. It's what you take away from your courses, those skills that belong to you that may be reflected on a diploma or, a degree, but it's the skills that actually is where the real worth lies.